Good afternoon, Kitchissippi. It is Sunday, October the 5th. This is a video version of the 451st Kitchissippi Weekly Ward Newsletter. There is lots more information about all the topics that we'll discuss in the weekly email newsletter, to which you can subscribe at kitchissippiward.ca. I'm going to be hosting pop-up office hours on October the 16th. Those are going to be at the Innovation Center at Bayview Yards at 7 Bayview Station Road. Hosting those on Thursday, October the 16th from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. Anytime during those hours, come on by without appointment to chat with me one-on-one about whatever is on your mind. There's going to be an open house to take a look at the draft plans for the rebuild, the integrated reconstruction of Berkeley, Dominion, and Tay. That's going to be held on October the 20th from 5:30 until 7:30 p.m. Anytime during those hours, swing by Dovercourt Recreation Center, which is at 411 Dovercourt, to take a look at the proposed plans for rebuilding Dominion, Berkeley, and Tay. It's a drop-in. There's no registration required. Enviro Center in the city are hosting a workshop that will be free on how to extend your cycling season. That workshop is going to explore tips and tricks for four-season cycling. Sounds like an absolute blast. There is registration requirement. There is registration required, and I've put a link for how to do that in the newsletter. The property at 627 Kirkwood has received a application for a rezoning that's going to, it's proposed to be a 76 residential dwelling unit, 6-story building. We're taking a look at the plans for that at an open house, which is going to be held this Thursday, October the 9th. We're hosting that virtually. It will be held at 6:30 p.m. Take a look in the newsletter for details on how to subscribe or how to register for that Zoom webinar. The Committee of Adjustment is going to meet on October the 8th. There is just that single Kitchissippi application at 128 Bayswater. The owner is seeking to sever the lot into 2 parcels to establish separate ownerships for each half of the existing semi-detached. City staff have now weighed in. They've expressed no concerns. You can see the full details of that proposal on the link that I provided in the newsletter. There are a number of items left over, memorabilia from the auction that was held recently to benefit the Westboro Region Food Bank, of the memorabilia and collectibles that were in the Whispers pub. I've put a link in the newsletter to the Facebook page where you can see what those items are and have the opportunity to bid for them. All the offers are on a make an offer basis. There is a suggested price. Payments are going to be accepted through e-transfer. Cash would be accepted as well. Kitchissippi United Church is hosting its rummage sale on October the 17th. That's going to be at Kitchissippi United, 639 Island Park Drive on October the 17th from October the 17th from 7 until 9 p.m. and on Saturday, October the 18th from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. They've got a great selection of jewelry, books, art, household goods, toys, and much more. There's instructions on how to give them a call for any questions that you might have in the weekly email. The Ottawa Friends of Tibet is hosting a festival and fundraising evening on October the 25th. That will be at First Unitarian Congregation on Cleary Avenue from 3:30 until 7 p.m. I've got a link in the newsletter to get more details about that and how to order tickets. It continues to be very busy at City Hall. The Built Heritage Committee is meeting tomorrow. That's Monday, October the 6th. We're going to consider heritage protection for the former Ellis House at 2400 Bank. But more importantly, at the same meeting, we have a report coming forward in which staff recommend that they not pursue a heritage conservation district for the Wellington West neighborhood. You can see all the details in the reports that are linked to in the newsletter, but essentially most of the buildings do not meet the criteria for heritage protection. It would be a hard row for them to hoe to make the argument that it is an HCD. I've spoken now with the Community Association. I think the path to getting more buildings designated more quickly is to pursue those on an individual or building by building basis. So I'm not going to be making an effort at tomorrow's meeting to try to knock staff off of their position. It looks like we're going to move ahead and accept the recommendations that staff have made. City Council is going to meet on Wednesday. We'll probably spend most of the time approving the recommendations that have come out of committee over the past week and a half. I think the one headline that's going to come out is arising from the Finance and Planning joint meeting that we held last week. The Housing Acceleration Task Force's recommendations were almost unanimously approved. There was one change. Councillor Johnson made a motion to dispense with a full holiday on the community benefits charge for developers and instead walk that back to a reduced rate. I am hearing that the development community, probably working with councillors who were not on that committee, will be bringing forward a motion to restore a full exemption from community benefits charges in the Housing Acceleration Task Force's recommendations. I'll be going into Wednesday's meeting prepared to defend, I think, the great compromise that Councillor Johnson made with respect to ensuring that some revenue, but not a full 4% of land value, would continue to come in. So we'll see how that turns out over the next few days. The Finance and Corporate Services Committee is going to be meeting on October the 14th. I think it's a relatively uncontentious agenda. We're going to receive some presentations on cybersecurity, do our routine write-off of uncollectible debts, consider an adjustment to the Centertown BIA's boundaries. We'll consider some community improvement and brownfield grants, and consider renewing the lease for the Nepean Sailing Club. I think the headline item is going to be a strategy that staff have put forward, I believe working with the mayor, on a doctor retention and attraction strategy. There's been a lot made, of course, and it is an absolutely atrocious situation in the city right now with respect to trying to find a family doctor. The mayor is putting forward a strategy. I'm a little cynical that it's much more than performative. There is only a $40,000 budget associated with that, but that strategy will move forward. And I think, a number of the action items in there speak to better integration of the city with some of our partners who are already trying to do some of this work, so that can only be a good thing. And then on October the 15th, the Planning and Housing Committee is going to meet with a single agenda item, and that is whether or not to remove the Taywin development from the urban boundary. The residents may recall that at the tail end of our official plan process back in 2021, I believe, the Taggart-Taywin development proposal in the south end of the city, southeast end of the city, was brought to the table as one of the new lands that would be added into the urban boundary or the developable area of the city. I voted against that. I cannot imagine that I would vote to reverse that position at the meeting that we'll have on October the 15th. Basically, the city is going to need to add more land into the developable boundary. There is a way in which municipalities add land into their urban boundary that is generally to make it adjacent to lands that are already serviced. I think Taywin is going to require the extension of things like transit and sewer and water networks long distances in a way that was never foreseen, that will have a long-term economic and environmental impact for the city. So that vote will be on October the 15th. I know there will be lots of discussion in the meantime. Kitchissippi, I am here tonight at the new Hintenberg pub house, or not new, the restored Hintenberg pump house. This is absolutely a delightful spot. Heritage staff working with the contractors have restored the building, which in 1989 burned down. It had been sitting as a wreck ever since. My thanks go to the city for finding the funds to do a beautiful renewal. My camera, I'm actually just going to quickly scan through here, maybe show folks what this looks like. There's a beautiful space in which just to look at the William Commanda Bridge and the skyline of the city. It's got this programmable space. We'll see how that winds up being used. And there is a lovely park with and a boat launch as well. That's for the search and rescue and the whitewater rapid swoops. So this is a really fascinating spot. I'm curious to see how it evolves in terms of how people use it. And I hope if you have a chance to come down, you'll be able to see it. It is just on O'Negan Street. which is off the Kitchissippi-Meekan, off of the Parkway pathway, just before the bridge starts to get to the Lemieux Island water treatment plant. So if you have a chance before the snow comes, by all means, come on down and take a look at the Hintenberg pump house, now gloriously restored. Kitchissippi, that's the newsletter this week. I thank you very much for watching.